throughout pretty much the whole sub-Saharan, well, not even sub-Saharan. They're yeah, they are found pretty much throughout the whole continent. They're mainly a wetland species, living in and around water and bodies of water and things like that. They are kind of an average size for an ibis, weighing up to around about 1.5 kilo. And the diet for these guys mainly consists of invertebrates and small insects and things like that. They will also take small vertebrate prey as well. They'll take a range of fish, frogs, lizards, anything like that really. So yeah, they are pretty much mainly pretty much carnivorous. There is a little bit of seed eating in there, but not too much. So yeah, they are pretty much carnivorous. So yeah, like I say, these guys are found throughout the majority of Africa. They are also found in the Middle East a little bit. There's a couple of populations in the Middle East, and then there are actually feral populations of these guys throughout the world. Actually, there's quite a few feral populations in Europe, a couple over in America. Yeah, which does cause some issues. Hi Lorraine, hope you're okay this week. Good to see you watching. Yeah, so like I say, there's a number of feral populations around Europe and around the world. They don't really seem to have too much of an impact on local ecosystems and things like that, but yeah, they are springing up in places they shouldn't be. A lot of that is from the way that zoos used to do things, actually. So a lot of zoos, especially in Europe, used to have free-flying flocks of these guys. So they'd basically have a group of sacred ibis in the zoo. They'd let them out during the day. The ibis would go and fly off and go wherever they liked, really. And then they'd come back at night to sleep, basically. They'd come and roost back at night. And obviously that ended up leading to feral populations when certain individuals didn't come back and things like that. And there have been quite a few issues, really, within France and things like that. Yes, so there is a real issue with that from the feral populations of these guys in Europe, and these guys are actually now on the European invasive species list, which is a bit of a puts us in, not us in a bit of a bind, but the zoo community in a bit of a bind. This invasive species list basically means that we're not allowed to breed these guys, move these guys, transfer these guys, release them into the wild, anything like that. We're not really able to do much with them at all. So the kind of long-term plan for these guys is in captivity, well, in Europe, in captivity in general, is to phase them out. So yeah, we are in a bit of a sticky situation with that, just as a zoo community in whole. There's a number of species on this invasive species list which we as a zoo community are not able to do anything with anymore. Things like raccoons are on that list now. They'll be being phased out of captivity in Europe. Coatimundi, there's a lot more on the list as well, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, there's a good large number of species on this list. So and these guys are one of them. Hi Tim, hope you're okay this week. Yeah, so these guys are classed as least concern on the IUCN Red List. Like I say, they are found throughout most of Africa. There's a good number of them out in the wild, and that's another reason they're kind of on this invasive species list. There isn't really any need for conservation of this species. They're not conservation dependent. So another reason that these guys are going to be phased out of captivity. So we have 3 sacred ibis here at the park. We've got the 2 that we can see here, and then the third one is just over to the right here behind the branch there, up there somewhere. I can't quite see it, but he's up there. But all three of ours are elderly individuals now. They're around about 20 years old. Captive lifespan for these guys is somewhere between 20 and 25 really. So yeah, we do have an older group now. And yeah, like I say, once these guys do eventually pass away, they'll help it for sacred ibis here at the park, which is a shame because they are, in their way, they are quite nice to look at. They're all nice little birds. Hi Matt, hope you're okay. Hope you're all alright. So sacred ibis, get the name sacred ibis because they are, well, they used to be quite well, what would the word be? Worshipped almost by the ancient Egyptians. The god Thoth, I think, I don't know how you say it, but that's how I'm going to say it. Was yeah, there's a lot of links between sacred ibis and that god, and a lot of ibis were killed and mummified alongside pharaohs and other kind of noblemen and things like that in ancient Egypt. So yeah, there's a really strong link between sacred ibis and ancient Egyptian culture and things like that. Which, yeah, like I say, is obviously where the name sacred ibis does come from. Ironically, there's now no sacred ibis in Egypt. They have actually, it's one of the areas they're not doing brilliantly, and yeah, they have been extirpated from Egypt at the moment, which is yeah, fairly ironic. But yeah, so yeah, really important birds for our ancient Egyptian culture and things like that. Yeah, quite distinctive. As with all ibis, they've got this long curved beak. Helps them to probe in the soil and things like that for the invertebrates that they want to feed on. Yeah, it makes life a lot easier for them. They do actually have a couple of very close relatives, the Australian white ibis and the black-headed ibis. All three species of ibis look incredibly similar. It has been debated whether they are same species or different species or things like that. The current thinking is they are three distinct species, especially because they've got kind of different ranges and things like that. But yeah, yeah, got a couple of very close relatives that they can breed with, if not managed correctly. But yeah, like I say, we've got an old group now, living out their days here, bless them. Right guys, I think we will wrap it up in a moment. So if you've got any last minute questions, feel free to send them in. Now I know I was off last week, but unfortunately I'm off again next week, so there won't be another video next week, I'm afraid. But we should be back, and we should be back to kind of normal service in 2 weeks. So yeah, we should be back to weekly videos in a couple of weeks. But yeah, no video again next week, and then yeah, back to normal week after. Yeah, so these guys, Tim, are at least concerned in the wild. There's an awful lot of them out and about in Africa and things like that. So yeah, they're doing okay out in the wild. Really, there are quite a few of them left out in the wild. They're quite adaptable birds as well. I think they're able to make the best of the situation. So yeah, they're doing okay at the moment. Yeah, nice to see them having a bit of a sunbathe at the moment. I've had to come down this end because they do get a bit nervous if we get too close, so I have to stand up this end rather than be right next door to them. They're not as confident as the northern walled ibis. Yeah, they do get a little bit more nervous and a bit more flighty. Right guys, we will call it a day there. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Sorry that it's only for 1 week and then we'll be we're off again next week, but yeah, hopefully normal service will be resumed in a couple of weeks. So yeah, until then, take care. See you later guys.